Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Trader's Edge Crypto. Our apologies for starting a little bit late, but this is your live crypto trading room that happens every single Monday from 11:30 to 12:15. My name is Lawton Ho, and I'm joined by
Benjamin Poole, head trader
And
here, Verified
Dosek.
Investing. Yeah, there you go, Drew.
Sorry. What's up, guys?
What's up?
All
So
right.
the way this works, guys, for those of you who are just here, we just want to take a moment and ask you to consider giving us a subscribe, hitting that subscribe button. If you want to ask questions to us, you can do so exclusively on the verifiedinvesting.com homepage. You just go to verifiedinvesting.com and then open up that little tab that says watch and ask. That's where you're going to submit your questions. With that being said, let's just hop into it, not waste any time. What's going on? What are you guys looking at? Any potential trades?
You got anything on the burner bin or no?
Not yet.
All right. Well, let me flip to mine. Let's go ahead and get into some Tau right here. 1/10 position. Starting to get away from us right now. I was hoping to get 351.65. The bid there on the futures you see here, 352.18 is where it's currently priced. And it's starting to push. Here, let's put an order 1/10 of position, 352.40. So I'm just under where the current price action is. And then I'm also, Avalanche is starting to push up now too. What I'm mainly looking, guys, for today is Bitcoin's right now on the 10-minute chart. We're in kind of a wedge pattern right here. This is all bearish consolidation, but you notice we're starting to poke above this. Now, for Bitcoin to actually secure a bounce, we're going to need to, and notice here too, this is a daily time frame on Bitcoin. We've got a nice declining trend line. Price is now retraced from that breakout and has tagged that trend line today. And since then, you can see after tagging the trend line, it hit it, bounced, then retrace, hit it again, and has since bouncing up. And now we're starting to get above where this consolidation is taking place. This could be a bull trap scenario. So this is one that I'm going to play very closely if we do get filled on some of these other positions, because the reason I'm going through Bitcoin is to, that's really the barometer. And man, look at that. Tau just took off. Now up about 80 cents from where my order entry was. So yeah, the markets are starting to push just because Bitcoin is now breaking out of this wedge pattern. Now let's be patient though. Let's not chase any further than where our order entry is. We could have price come straight back down and even come back into this wedge. But ultimately, what I want to see, though, on a move like this, I want to see the breakout. I want to see another candle push higher above this current breakout, then have price come down to this declining trend line on Bitcoin, roughly around 115,700,000. So we're very early on in the stages of this potential break above this declining trend line. So we'll have to wait, see what happens on this chart. And I still do have orders for Tau. And you can see, let me flip that over real quick. Tau sitting here, 352.40, 352.40, still sitting there waiting. And I'll have to reconfirm and really calculate what's going on Avalanche.
Gotcha. Yep. And we're proud to say that this show is sponsored by Blofin, BLOFIN. It is the official cryptocurrency exchange of Verified Investing. If you want to trade like us, trade alongside us, go check out Blofin. Tommy says, how are you using Blofin when it doesn't allow U.S. customers? It works for us here in Florida. But
yeah, you have to check with your state and particular region that you're in, right? So if you're in California, it will have different restrictions or access than like Florida, for example, like Lawton was mentioning, because here in Florida, we are able to trade it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And if you guys are having trouble seeing the watch and ask, go ahead and refresh your verifiedinvesting.com homepage. You should be able to ask questions. All right. Jillian says, can you guys take a look at Ravencoin again? It broke a trend line, confirmed, went down again, but didn't confirm, then broke up. Is this a bullish signal on Ravencoin?
I haven't found Ravencoin. Have you looked at that before, Drew?
No, I have not.
I tried to type it into Blofin.
Here, let's see.
It might not be traded on Bluefin.
Oh, well, if it's not traded on Bluefin, I can't take a look at it right now, unfortunately.
Let's see.
It's RVN USDT.
Ravencoin on
Yep.
Tether.
RVN.
Yep. RVN USDT.
Oh, okay.
I got it right here. All right. So let's take a look at this chart. All right. This is a nice breakout that's held. So now basically the next test on the way up is going to be that pivot. So on the way down, though, we really need to be watching really this price action. It's kind of the problem with Raven, though. It's, you see how it's consolidating right here down near the lower end. That's definitely not good, and could say that it could break lower. The more it bounces on this inclining trend line, the more likely it will start curling over. Now on the very, very near term, let's just say from this pivot, actually, let's take this pivot. I mean, we're toying with a breakout. It's trying. Raven is really trying, but the problem is this inclining trend line right here. If I were a bull in Raven, that's what I would be watching. And here, really flip back, see if I got filled. No, shoot. It was pulling back in the 352.80s and didn't fill me. Okay. But what I would say, though, on Raven, you need to draw the pivot from this April 9th low, connect it over to this consolidation in May. And if I were a bull, that's what I would really be watching right here. Because if this trend breaks, it doesn't mean we can't recapture trend, but that would just be bad news in the near term for Raven. That would likely come back down, potentially even test this low from April. So watch this trend line. That's what I'm seeing on Raven. To the upside, now if the markets and Bitcoin continue to push higher, make new highs, then Raven could start freeing up. But just notice how many times it's hit down here. 1, 2. This is collectively more than just 2. You would almost count that as 3, even though it was a kiss, and 4. So we've hit on that area many times. So it's vulnerable for a breakdown under there. We'll see if Raven can turn up, because it's got conflicting signals. It's trying to break out from this trend line, never really got above it to confirm it. But that consolidation is at least concerning for me for the near term as far as any upside potential.
Gotcha. Next question says, Visca says, any analysis on Ethereum Classic seems to be stuck in a wedge and just bounce off resistance. In what time frame? What time frame is that you're talking about?
So it bounced
Yeah.
off of resistance and getting a pullback is my guess. All right, so
ETC.
Here, you want me to put it on mine with TradingView, Ben, or?
No, Ben's got it.
yeah, here we go. All right, so Ethereum Classic, ETC. So I'm trying to, here's your resistance. You get this high pivot here, high pivot here. I can see this wedge pattern that you're referring to. So yes, so currently it is stuck in a wedge pattern. So there's another trend line we'll draw here. A little fun little trend line game that we like to play. Anyway, so here's a couple different trend lines that you got to be watching for. If you can get a break of this downsloping trend line, then you're going to head higher. You're going to face resistance at 29.25. You got these high pivots and all this price consolidation. One good thing that ETC is doing right now is it is consolidating underneath this resistance. And the more it consolidates underneath the resistance, the more probability, the probabilities dictate that you should have a break higher. With all this price consolidation right here, after put in this bear flag, it's going to take a lot of work to get above that. Again, once it does, then you're likely to hit up to $40. All right. So $30 and then $40 is your next upside target. But you gotta get that break. So here's another awesome trend line. So you got first hit here at $16 or $14 and then $18. So you're going to get some support on this trend line, but similar with the downsloping trend line. If it breaks the upsloping trend line, then you are looking at the possibility of it heading down to this upsloping trend line here, going down to $16. So right now, because it's kind of chopping in the middle, I wouldn't touch it yet unless you get a break above that downsloping trend line and then a retrace, and then you can enter it. It would obviously be higher than the current price right now, or you could start a position now, and then any break below that upsloping trend line, you could just stop out on a daily closing basis. So that's what I'm looking at.
Cool. Let's see. How's your trade looking, Drew?
It looks like it's kind of gotten away from us at the moment. Here you go. You see Bittensor right now is at 354.20, almost $2 higher, about $1.80 higher than our entry. I'm still sitting there waiting on an Avalanche. I'm not as interested in anymore. Bittensor, I think this was the one that I really wanted to get, and it was kind of hanging out there right when we were about getting on, and it just is a fleeting moment at the current state. So we'll reevaluate. I'll still be sitting here waiting if price action does come back in. One good thing though that I'm seeing about the crypto markets, Bitcoin is pushing higher right here. See this on the 10-minute? That could then confirm for at least the near term. Then we're talking, I'm looking at the 10-minute chart. Ben and I and also Lawton were talking this last week about, what we discuss is often in this room, it's day trading scenarios and then swing trading scenarios. It's not necessarily a long-term playbook, right? So we're looking for, as far as day trades, great support levels for entries and exits very rapidly, usually within an hour or two of trading. Swing trades, days to a couple of weeks, maybe even a couple months. And then long-term is going to be that individual buying and holding, buying and holding, buying and holding. Very similar to what I do in the hodler service. But we see Bitcoin now starting to come back in too. This is all critical. Where this 10-minute candle closes is really critical as far as to if this breakout continues. Now, if this breakout continues for Bitcoin, we could see Bitcoin potentially today moving up to roughly right around 116,269. So it's not that much further, about $400 or $500 pop, but we'll see if we can get a close in the next minute and 20 seconds above this green candle here. That would help solidify and move probabilities, shift probabilities for a move higher in the near term on Bitcoin.
Gotcha. All right, let's take another question. Legion saying, can you guys take a look at Litecoin? Seems to be holding support very well. LTC OC18. And again, guys, we do this every single week. So we'll be live until 12:15.
For what I see on Litecoin right now, I've basically got the story of two trend lines for the most immediate near term. We've got this trend line from March 25th, and that's held price down on the most recent rally. You notice that we tried to pierce it here, got above it, never confirmed above it, and then had price action come back down in this bearish consolidation manner. Please note too, we're right back in this consolidation area that occurred when this was bullish consolidation right here. Now the story's somewhat changed because we've had price action come down and move to the right, now making it more bearish consolidation. So for Litecoin, for me, I'm looking for this declining trend line from the pivot December 5th, strung over to the next pivot to January 18th. And that area should provide the near-term support for any sort of price action falling down. That's currently around $111.55. Next area that would be critical technical support is at 106.98. So both of those areas is where I'm looking. To the upside, we need to beat this inclining trend line. And if we do, then Litecoin's got some ability to run. That will shift probabilities and then create the $165 target to the upside. But for right now, these two trend lines are really controlling price and really providing really the support and the resistance for Litecoin.
Gotcha. Let's see here. Justin says, can you explain confirmation? When does a breakout confirm?
Well, that's something that is proprietary. In order to learn the confirmation, you're going to have to take
the Winning
Trader series.
Yeah. And I know I talk about it a lot. I want to just divulge into it. I'm sure you could pick up what it is from some of the discussions I have, but it's such an important factor. Now trend lines, they're like magical trend lines, right? They do have resistance, price runs into them, stops, turns right back around. The same thing is true with trend lines when they can get broken, right? So oftentimes they work, but we analyze them and according to the times and the number of times they get hit, that's what really shifts probabilities, right? So the confirming signal is, I would put it in that same category where it works more often than not, and it starts to help our mind shift probabilities. It doesn't mean it can't fail, because they do fail, just like trend lines fail, just like bull flag patterns fail and bear flag patterns fail. It's part of trading. But when you're able to find the confirmation signal on a chart that is breaking out, that is very, very powerful, because it gives you an opportunity to get in on any sort of pullbacks. Now we have Tao's pulling back in. Let's see what's going on with Bitcoin. Oh man, look at Bitcoin pushing up higher. Ooh, nice push. All right, that's almost making me want to get into Tao, just get some skin in the game, basically. So let me just move this up. We'll just get a little bit in here. 354.10. All right, boom. I'm in, and I got filled at 354.28. So 354.28 long on Tao, 1/10 position. 354.28 long on Tao, 1/10 position.
3x leverage.
5. Sorry,
5x.
I stepped up. I stepped it up. Yeah, 5x leverage. Thank you for getting me on that. Yep.
All right,
354.28. Going to be looking for about 1%. So that's going to put us right up here to about this pivot high. Pivot high there is 358. So let's get the take profits and let's pull it up here to 358. We'll be looking to add to this about 1% lower. Right down here at 351.12. All right, so there we go. We got bookended price action right there, guys. Looking for a move up to 358. We'll take profits. If we move down to 351.12, we'll add to the position another 1/10. And we'll let it run. As long as we got Bitcoin pushing up, that will be win behind the sales there for Bitensor. We see Bitensor on the 10-minute charts also right here. So basically what we're shooting for is price action to push up right here to this pivot high. Nice push on Bitcoin. Now what can happen, as I've said, we could have a price action move up and then retrace. Sometimes price does like to retrace to where it broke out. And so just be prepared for that. With our move in Tao now, that's why normally, and our show's a little condensed, I wanted to get you some trading action. If we just had a little bit longer, I may have waited for price to come back here and then bought Tao. But I think with this push, we can ride that wave and potentially get there to 358 before we have any sort of big drawbacks on Bitcoin. Let's see if that takes place. But if it does, we have our ad level in place. This is a good, at least for now, 10-minute breakout on Bitcoin. And it should remain above this declining trend line. But we'll see if the probabilities stay in our favor.
Yeah, now that Bitcoin broke above that resistance level, it should be support getting back there.
Yep.
I agree.
Nice. All right. Well, we're in a trade, guys. Again, thank you to Blowfin for sponsoring us. If you want to trade alongside us, you can sign up for BLOFIN. If you want to learn more, you can go to the homepage of Verified Investing website, scroll all the way to the bottom, see where it says Our Sponsors, and click on that Blowfin. Trade alongside us, and hopefully make some money alongside us. All right. And Corey says the trend line retest on the Bitcoin daily is also a 786 retrace. Lots of compliments. They're at the 114,500 price, where price bounced from.
Is that maybe 786 from this pivot? Yeah. Yep. I see it right there. Yep. Decent support right there. You can even see it too with your eyes, right? That's a great thing. The fibs help you locate support. and or resistance. But then if you just track it back further, you can see, oh man, there is a little bit of consolidation here. Plus we got that declining trend line and that fib. We likely should get a bounce. It doesn't mean we're going to brand new all-time highs, but we should just get a small technical bounce, which is what we're getting right now.
Mhm. All right, let's see. You okay to take a question?
Yeah.
I know we're in a trade, but all right. Ollie says, hi. Hey guys, I'm looking, or no, Manco says, hey guys, I'm looking to start a swing short on MNT USDT. Can you please give your thoughts? Please check the RSI also. Swing short on MNT USDT.
Ooh, this one, you know what? Yeah, this one may be a bin question with the RSI. Do you see this chart, Ben?
I don't have access to the RSI right now.
I know, but do you see my chart?
Yep.
With the daily chart, and look at this price action here. And then it came down and has now come back up right here, roughly about August 5th, August 4th. And then has since gotten above and then is now gone back up, basically in a near triple top scenario. We're basically closer to this double top, and then the triple top will be up here at the $1.50 mark.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've gone over MNT in my RSI trade of the day. So I don't know if that's where they're getting it, but yeah, that would be a great spot to start, knowing that it could head higher.
I didn't know
But
you
it's
traded
getting-
crypto in your trade of the day. That's
What's
cool.
that?
I didn't know you
No,
did crypto. And
I go over charts, right? So I go over stocks, commodity, crypto, ETFs. Like, it doesn't really matter as long as it's got the correct trade setup. I go over it, but yeah, looks like at least for me, it looks like it was a good opportunity to short,
Nice.
knowing that you can add if it goes higher, right?
Yep.
So
What's
it could
cool
go up
about
to
that
the
too,
top.
even the weekly is just pushing up there, right? So it's
Yeah.
like you
Over
got several different signals there on the RSI. Plus you got this declining trend line, price pierced. Now, of course, like with anything, now this is a third hit. We should be having a decent pullback with this, but we'll see if we consolidate over the several days. That would change the shape of the trade. But a rapid move up into resistance, you just gotta short that. Especially with Ben's insight on the RSI and delivering that to you in his show. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Great thing to do. It's like a reconfirming thought process for your thesis on the trade.
All right.
Gotcha.
I did get Blowfin to work, and so I do have my RSI now.
All right,
I
let
don't know
me
why.
share your screen.
Yeah. So the thing I like about this trade is it did get below. As you can see, it was a strong altcoin. So once it broke this resistance, it got a pullback, got onto support. You got these low pivots right here. Now it headed higher. It's no longer creating negative RSI divergence. I don't consider this from this pivot to this pivot negative RSI divergence because it broke below the 50. So what I would be wanting to look for is price action to head higher, maybe take out this pivot high right here, 142, maybe get up to $1.50. And the reason I like to look for the $1.50 is that's where a lot of people will put their stops, right? And so institutions, algorithms will see that people put their stops at 150 if they're shorting it. And so it'll run it past that, and then it'll get a flush out. But you also see this upsloping trend line. It's got a lot of support on this upsloping trend line. So maybe if it gets up to 150, comes back in, hits it for the third time, then it's likely to break. And I would even say that you could get a pullback all the way to under $1. You got this high pivot or these low pivots right here, red and green bar candle. But that would be my downside target. Looking for about a 27% move.
Cool. All right. Ollie says, please kindly, if possible, can you check LINK? I've shorted it at $23.50.
All right, let's take a look at Chainlink. Similar price action to MNT, where you got this big up move. This one, the thing I like about Chainlink a little bit more is this negative RSI divergence. I do think that it could still go up to $30. And then as soon as it breaks 30, breaks this upsloping trend line, then you're going to get a pullback. But right now, you look at the the price action, there's not a lot of movement in the price action, which means that there's not a lot of movement in the relative strength index. So for me, I like stuff that's got a lot more volatility. Right now, Chainlink doesn't necessarily have a ton of volatility. So for me shorting it, I would have to wait until some pretty good resistance, which it's into right now. But again, the volatility is indicating that it's still a strong altcoin and could head up to $30.43.
All right. Let's go back and check out Drew's trade. How's your trade doing, Drew?
Doing good. About $9.
In the money, yeah. That was a great entry. Nice to just get in,
Right. Would have been nice to get filled on that first entry as we've been sitting comfortably in the money, but sitting here just waiting for this price action. Good thing is now on the futures, we're starting to poke above this pivot. Notice too, this little pivot low on this candle, this 5-minute candle on 9:15 this morning. We're basically butting up against that low, trying to get above this threshold. One other thing I was noticing on the Bit and Sword chart is that we're basically in a declining parallel. Now these declining parallels usually break to the upside. You notice when price action has come up to the top end over the past 1, 2, 3 times, we've gotten rejected. So this, with Bitcoin's push, this is a great push on Bitcoin. I was hoping to get a lot more momentum behind Bit and Sword. So maybe it'll catch up speed here in a little bit as it's trailing behind with this nice rally Bitcoin's putting in right now on the 10-minute chart. What we'll do too, depending upon if Bitcoin starts to turn down, we'll put in a stop loss. I don't have one yet, but we'll watch that. And then that way it just protect the profit. That way we don't even really have to think much about it. And shoot, here it's already coming pretty fast. Let's see if we can't get a push up a little higher, and then we can put that stop loss in place.
In the money.
In the money, that's correct. And that's probably what I'll do right here. And it's not going to be a big gain. We're just going to protect ourselves. I would rather have gotten in down here at 352.20. But I did just put in a stop loss there at 354.65. So it's underneath the current pivot low of this 5-minute candle. So we'll just keep riding it up. That way we'll still remain in the profit minus any fees that are going to take place in this trade. And we can just continually move it up. So if we get some move in a close above this pivot right here on this candle, then I'll move that stop loss up likely to this collection area, this consolidation area of 355. So right now at 354.65, let's get a close above this candle, then we can move that stop loss up. Target though is going to be up here at 358.
See if we can get this. And we do have like 10 minutes left. So
there we go. Okay, so we got some time. We still got 2 5-minute.
So we don't need to force anything, but let's have it keep on going. I mean, you've been on fire recently, Drew, to be honest.
Thank you. Yeah. Ben had a great trade today. You were on fire too with your levels on SoundHound. Just unlucky didn't get filled there. But you know what? Sometimes when the charts, it's just like sports, man. We go through streaks and slumps, and it's just kind of how it is, right?
Yeah.
I tell you, I do love day trading, guys. And man, even our swing trading today, I had one in our small cap service. I closed out over 30% gain. I mean, dude, that's sick. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, this is like Drew's, like, I don't know, his month, his couple months. He's just everything he touches turns to gold, except for me. He hasn't been touching me enough, maybe.
No, apparently I need to give you some dap and knuckles more often. I'm moving that stop loss up above the pivot, guys, as you see here on the screen. Moving that stop loss. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put it right at right just underneath this 5-minute candle that took place right at 12 noon. I'm going to put it right there. So that means the take profit still is at 55.95, but if price action comes back down, 15.75 is where I'll take that all of this trade off the table. I'm going to go ahead and exit this buy order down here, also down there at the bottom of the screen, because I won't be needing that. Oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is textbook,
Just an
guys.
amazing trade.
Watch Bitcoin. You guys, if you're wanting to day trade, you got it. Like the way I do it and the way Lawton does it and Ben does it, we're all very different. Let's just say the way I prefer to trade day trading stocks, I want to have the spiders and the Qs up on one of my screens at all times. That way I at least know roughly where the tide's going. That's the way I like to think of it. You know, if the tide's rising up, it's likely going to start pushing other stocks up. And sometimes in earnings, some stocks will trade in their own world, right? Where they'll just get beaten up and, the rest of the market's bouncing, but then this one stock is just not bouncing, right? In the crypto world, we want to focus on Bitcoin, much like I was describing the S&P 500 and the Qs. If the Bitcoin starts pushing up, the likelihood is that the rest of the other alts are going to start pushing up too. Now we see Bitcoin coming back in. Let's flip back over to our trade, see what that's doing. You can see that that is actually pulling price back in. What I'm going to do, I'm going to lift up my take profit just a little bit higher. I want to get near more $20 for this. So we'll just lift it up a little bit higher. There we go. Take profit there is at $20.10. And again, this is a small account. I've got about $10,000 in this account. So this is using 5x leverage. I may start using a little bit more leverage in the future, especially with the success rate of a lot of these trades.
Yeah, go heavy, go all in. That's what we want to see.
150 leverage, guys. Let's go.
150x.
There we go. That's what I needed from Ben and Lawton.
I mean, that's the thing about bluffing that's pretty cool. You can have as much or as little risk as you want. It's full control.
Dude, this is lovely. I love watching trades just print money, you know? Just go ahead. Keep printing it. Keep printing it. Print us some money.
Nice and easy, right? That's what
Yeah.
you want, the easy button.
Yeah. Like we didn't even have to fight this. That's what Lawton's referring to. And oftentimes we call that work on our end, where we're having to work through a trade, maneuver through a trade. It's inevitable as a day trader, you're going to be in that situation. You know, the trade goes against you. What do? And, I'm lucky enough to be surrounded by some of the best minds in maneuvering within positions. And just like anything, the more that I'm around them, the more I start picking it up too. And that's the great thing about our membership. They get to trade with us live every single day on the Day Trading Room. And they're picking up all of these pieces of information or strategies we use that we've taken years to develop. And you can get that just by being in the chat and listening. You don't even have to take the trades, and the educational value that you're going to get will pay for itself with the monthly subscription. So I know that's what I did when I was a member. I just was a sponge and tried to soak up any sort of nuance and discussion that they had on the chat. That way I could become a better trader faster.
We do have 5 minutes left.
All right. So let's inch it up a little bit more. Let's inch up to take profit. Now I'm at 22.50. Oh, geez, just got taken. All right. So order history got filled at 355.73. That was a gain of 2.05%.
Nice. Congratulations, man.
Hey, thank you.
I
think Bitcoin got a chance to still go up to that 358. We'll watch what the pullback does on Bitcoin. You know, if Bitcoin pulls back down here to basically 115,800, be looking for potential bounce plays. Now, of course, this could flush, but if you're on Blowfin, I would be looking at other cryptos that have pulled back and then start buying them too, right around that area for potential. What I like to call is the springboard play. We broke out from this. I envision it much like a diving board at the pool. This is your first jump, and then landing on the diving board again, and then the next jump will take you higher. So this is a cool springboard effect play, but still Bitcoin staying strong. Got to tip your cap to it.
Yeah. Well, congratulations everybody on that trade. We have about 5 minutes left, so we're gonna answer a couple final questions, if you guys don't mind. Is cool with
No,
that?
not at all.
I know we've just been watching this trade play out, but anyways, all right, let's see. Michael says we have a second weekly topping tail on Bitcoin. How does this affect the bullish scenario? Which bullish scenario?
That doesn't help it. Let's say that.
No.
It doesn't help it. There's two things I see on this chart that stick out to me just without much analysis. We got a bull flag at the top of the charts that they generally fail up here. And then two, we got two topping tails, two weekly topping tails. So all three now are saying we should be coming down on Bitcoin. You want to add anything to that, Ben?
No, the only thing I would say is some people view Bitcoin as having an inverse head and shoulders pattern. So if you notice where the start of your parallel channel, create that as a left shoulder, and then you got the head that goes down to like $76,000, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got the right shoulder right there starts.
This?
Yeah.
Is it kind of like this is my neckline? You see this yellow trend line?
Yeah, exactly. And so now, although on a technical basis, we don't classify that as an inverse head and shoulders pattern. It doesn't matter what we classify as an inverse head and shoulders pattern. It's what the majority of folks see as an inverse head and shoulders pattern. So what you're going to need is a break below that perceived neckline. If Bitcoin starts pulling back there, coupled with those two topping tails, then you should, on a technical basis, get a pullback. Now, right now, you're still in a technical uptrend in Bitcoin, right? So the fact that it made all-time highs, it's coming back, that's just a natural market correction, right? Or Bitcoin correction. If we start breaking out to the upside, start taking out those topping tails, then Bitcoin has the potential to run up to, it still hasn't tagged 125. It got close, 125,000 before a pullback, and then possibly even to 130. Now, caveat that with, if you start breaking to the downside of that upsloping parallel channel, then you should get a nice flush out, not only in Bitcoin, but you'll see the Bitcoin dominance start to really skyrocket and the altcoins really start to fall. So, yeah, as soon as, when something's in an uptrend, you got to respect it until it starts showing signs of weakness. Once the weakness comes, then you should get a nice pullback to 106 or 105 is where my downside target is for a lot of support, and then 100,000. And then we'll have to reassess, right? We'll have to reassess where exactly Bitcoin's at, what it's been doing over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, or whatever, however long it takes. And then we can decide, okay, so now is this a good time to buy altcoins? It's a good time to exit altcoins, so there's a lot of different factors coming into that. But yes, overall, what Drew was saying, topping tails are bearish for the markets. So
Yep. Especially at the highs of the charts. We get those topping tails at the highs of the charts. It's one of the best gifts you can possibly see. They don't always work, but it's very rare they don't. It's very rare.
They usually do. Yep.
Yeah, and that neckline too, just to give the listeners maybe a value there, roughly 114,122, and that's an inclining line. Again, Ben said, and he hit the nail on the head. That's one I won't classify that as an inverse head and shoulders pattern. Other people may see it like that, but that's something we just don't hear at Verified Investing.
Right. With that being said, is if retail investors see that as an inverse head and shoulders pattern, and they've drawn their trend lines, then they are likely to rush into it. And then, with Michael Saylor still buying into it, adding all the time, retail investors seeing this as an inverse head and shoulders, it doesn't matter if we classify it as one or not, right? Just because we see a topping tail doesn't mean that we're going to be 100% right. Just means that the probabilities dictate that it's not an inverse head and shoulders pattern, and it does have a topping tail, so it's bearish.
Yep.
Until other things are confirmed up, either above or below.
Absolutely.
So yeah. That's what
All
I
right,
got.
guys. Well, that's all the time we have. It is 12:15, and we got to get ready because I got a show in literally 14 minutes. But thank you so much for joining us on Traders Crypto Live. We do this every single Monday from 11:30 to 12:15. Thank you again to Blowfin for sponsoring us. If you like this content, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to us on the Verified Investing YouTube channel. But
And
with
feel
that,
free to share with your friends.
yeah, share
Yeah.
it with your friends. It'll help us with the algorithm. But
'Cause who
anyways,
doesn't
guys,
like-
that's
Who doesn't like making
all.
money and learning how to trade all at the same time? I mean,
That's
come on.
true,
that's-
and you get all of that. You got
Right?
all of that today.
That's right.
Anyways, thanks guys for tuning in. My name is Lawton Ho, and I'm joined by.
Benjamin Poole.
And Drew
And-
Dosek.
All right, guys, have a great day. We'll see you later.
See you in the charts.
Take care,
Bye.
guys.